Good afternoon, my dear friends, or evening or morning. It all depends on which region you are in. I'm glad to be with you. Unfortunately, I'll have to speak like this because I can't see you directly. However, I can clearly see the photos of all my patients whom I've worked with before and tested them thoroughly. And I hope we will have very profound professional consultations that will help people understand their problems. And everyone else will listen and try to understand how much this applies to them as well. The first thing I want to say is that the main human diseases are always connected with one of the 7 energy layers that are responsible for the body's regulation. The first layer is called Rasa Dhatu. It is responsible for regulating the skin, subcutaneous tissue, and small capillaries. On the mucous membrane, it is responsible for regulating lymph nodes. The second energy layer is connected with small vessels and veins in the body. It's responsible for blood circulation and blood pressure. The third energy layer is connected with all muscle tissues. The fourth energy layer is connected with internal organs and fatty tissues. The fifth layer is connected with the skeletal system and joints. The sixth layer is connected with the nervous system. And the seventh energy layer is connected with hormonal functions. A person has chronic diseases in 3 out of 7 layers. In one of the 3 layers, chronic diseases have a more rigid and unchangeable nature. In 2 of the 3 layers, it's less rigid, but they can also suffer. The main reasons. That means that all these energy layers tend to get blocked in a person from birth, and this doesn't change throughout life. Of course, it happens that other energy channels get blocked in the body, but this is mainly temporary and primarily related to an incorrect lifestyle. But these channels, even if a person leads a more or less correct lifestyle, can still suffer if, let's say, a person is going through a difficult astrological period. In other words, despite a correct lifestyle, chronic diseases are possible in the human body, and to overcome them, there are basic methods of cleansing these channels. The first channel connected with the skin is cleansed through oiling as well as washing and cleanliness. The second energy layer is connected with blood vessels. It is cleansed through dynamic exercises and fresh air as well as swimming. The third layer is cleansed through quick dynamic exercises such as running. The fourth energy layer, connected with internal organs and fatty tissues, is cleansed through fasting. The fifth energy layer, connected with the bone system, is cleansed through static exercises. The sixth layer, connected with the nervous system, is cleansed through breathing exercises and practices like Qigong and walking outside in fresh air. The seventh energy layer is connected with hormonal functions. It is cleansed through wishing happiness to everyone, spiritual practice, forgiveness, making amends, and so on. Therefore, we are now moving on. Also, there is such a concept as a natural constitution of a person. I have diagnosed this constitution in all of my patients who will be receiving consultation now. There are 3 natural constitutions of a person. The first is the constitution connected with air energy, prana. It is called Vata Prakriti, and it can be called a pranic constitution. The second constitution is connected with fire energy. That means a person receives health through fire energy. In this case, it's called Pitta Prakriti, and when a person receives health through water energy, it's called Kapha Prakriti. We will also talk about these constitutions and how a person can improve their health. So in general, I've given the introductory information. We will study everything else as we work with each patient, because all these 7 energy layers, as far as I remember, will be indicated one way or another in the patients who will be diagnosed. So we begin. I want to introduce you to Dr. Anazarov, the chief physician of the Amrita Medical Center, who has been helping me work with patients for many years now. I myself am not involved in direct work with patients anymore. I mainly develop various methods. Sometimes I help the Amrita Medical Center with some complex cases of diseases. But mainly Dr. Anazarov handles all health issues and patient treatment.
Hello. I wanted to say a few words about the format of how our consultations will proceed now. We will be connecting with each of the patients we'll be consulting via Skype, so that we can do this not in the form of a monologue, but in the form of a dialogue. We could ask clarifying questions, both we and the patient. So we will now be calling our first patient. I will also read preliminary important information concerning health that was sent to us before the consultation. So, we begin.
Hello, hi.
Hello, this is Alina, right?
Yes, that's me.
Can you hear us well?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Excellent. I will now read your letter regarding the treatment and health issues, and then I'll give the floor to Dr. Torsunov.
Okay.
So first, you're complaining about menstrual cycle irregularities. At 15, you went to a gynecologist. She found out that you didn't have periods. She was surprised, shocked, and prescribed some hormonal medication. After that, the menstrual cycle began, but whenever you don't take the medications, the menstrual cycle stops. It's been 2 years since you stopped taking hormonal medications. Exactly a year ago, you had periods naturally for 5 days. You were very happy and understood that they can come naturally. Listening to the lectures, you understand that this means you have disturbed feminine qualities. You say, I try to spend less time at work, take more care of relatives, other people, and myself. I pray to God, asking Him to help me make the right decision. If I just go to a gynecologist, they will prescribe hormonal or some other treatment again. Please advise what I should do and what herbs I might take. After all, I want to have children in the future. I don't have a boyfriend. I'm afraid to create relationships, family. What if I can't have children? I wanted to immediately clarify one question regarding the menstrual cycle. Do you have it at the moment or not?
No.
There hasn't been any, if I understand correctly, during the last year?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Dr. Torsunov.
So I want to say that your constitution is prakriti vata. This means that you receive health forces from air energy. In other words, walks and jogging in fresh air are very beneficial for you, and they give you health. Regarding your natural diseases, I will now list those energy layers or dhatus, as they say in Ayurveda, which are affected, and the diseases that stem from them. And I will also indicate the cause of your illness. The second layer is affected. This layer is connected with blood vessels. Since it has 2 petals, your inner petal is affected. This means that you have problems in your body. I'm testing your body right now. Right in the lower part of the body, it's the mucous membrane of the uterus and intestines, where blood circulation is disturbed. That means that there are spasms in the mucous membranes. This can become an additional reason for menstrual cycle disruption because the vascular system of the uterus plays a very important role in this function. The next layer is called methadatu, or the 4th energy layer. It is connected with the appendages, and since both outer and inner petals are affected there, this is the most significant damage in your body. Precisely because the energy channels are blocked there, they are quite dense. The energy flows poorly there, and for this reason, there isn't enough of it for the appendages to function. If we speak in terms of traditional medicine or Eastern medicine, you lack the energy of water and earth in your body. Moreover, you lack water energy more. How to get water energy? If you have a water body nearby, you must definitely swim in it. Even lying in a bath, not standing under a shower, but lying in a bath, is beneficial for you in the morning. This will give good results, and it's even better to swim in some water body. It's also very useful to just walk on the ground. Maybe walk barefoot in summer. I don't think it will help you if you do it in winter on snow. It's not very good for women to do cold training. That's good for men, because women's bodies mainly strive towards the sun, not cold. The next thing I would advise you, since the 4th layer is cleansed through fasting, therefore you should practice fasting. Specifically, not a dry fasting and not a water fasting, I think, but a fasting purely on raw vegetables that grow above ground, such as zucchini, patty pan squash, pumpkin, eggplants. Raw eggplants are not very good to eat, but zucchini, pumpkin, patty pan squash, I think these are the best products for you to eat them raw. You can blend them in a food processor, make juice or a paste and add honey or a little bit of natural sweetener and eat them raw. The most favorable day for you to do this fasting is on Friday, because Friday is connected with female hormonal functions. The most powerful healing method for you is movement in fresh air, because you lack energy in your body overall. And the absence of menstruation is precisely for this reason, that the body is weakened in general and you are depressed. The absence of relationships with the opposite sex also worsens your depression. You lack self-confidence due to certain weakness in the body. There is also increased sensitivity. This is basically all. Also, you should understand that this may be related to disruption of the body's central regulation, because metadhatu is also connected with the brain. I think there are some disorders related to hormonal functions in general. Therefore, spiritual practice prayers are also very important for you, and you should cultivate positive thinking. You shouldn't tune into pessimism. The next thing that you didn't mention, like the first one, is the 5th petal, which is connected with the spine. In your case, specifically, it's connected with the spine. There is also a disorder there. Let me see at what level. It's somewhere at the chest level. This means that either now or over time, some heaviness or pain may begin there. This layer can be treated. Do you agree, yes?
Yes, I actually have osteochondrosis.
But you didn't tell us anything about that? Good. So this is treated with static exercises. These are Hatha Yoga exercises. The shoulder stand pose or plow pose is the best for you. You also need to do the opposite exercise, back bends. That means you need to do the plow pose for about 15 minutes a day and back bend for about 5 minutes. You can, for example, do a bridge pose or half bridge, bend backwards while on your knees. Also, for hormonal function, there is an exercise called the butterfly pose. Find it on the internet. It's where feet are together, knees spread apart as far as possible. You need to sit in this position for 15 minutes a day, motionless at minimum. It's better to pray in this position. You can sit even longer, for half an hour, for 40 minutes. This will give you the opportunity to improve hormonal functions. And if you follow all my recommendations, I think there's a chance that menstruation may start. You also need to eat more dairy products, especially milk, dairy cream in the morning and evening. That's basically everything I wanted to say. Do you have any questions, maybe?
Yes, I have this question. You said that I need to lie in the bath in the morning, but is it also possible in the evenings?
You can do it, but it won't give such a big effect on hormonal functions. It will just relieve your tension. Yes, you should lie in warm water, not cold, not cool, but in warm, pleasant, comfortable, not hot, not cold, but warm, comfortable water.
You say I need to swim? Can I go to a swimming pool, for example?
Yes, you can go to a swimming pool, but I don't know how chlorine will affect you. If you feel that the smell of chlorine is unpleasant for you, then chlorinated pool water is unlikely to help improve hormonal functions. Maybe you can find somewhere non-chlorinated?
Okay, thank you. And you also mentioned cleansing through fasting. In Islam, we have fasting. Can I use that too? There you don't eat all day, only in the evenings and before morning, before dawn.
You can use this fasting, but during this time you need to eat only raw vegetables that grow above ground if you want to use it for benefit, for your health, specifically for this purpose. Okay, any other questions?
So it means I need to do everything you told me?
The main reason is the lack of energy in these organs. There is no other reason. Everything else is normal with you. You need to increase this energy. It is contained in vegetables, in water, in movement, in fresh air, and in a positive attitude.
And what about your methods?
Our methods will undoubtedly help you. Among them, the best ones for you, I think we have a color scheme that means colored gems. Tree bark, colored stones, and a belt is the best treatment for you. Activation of the body using these methods.
So this is not absolutely mandatory, right?
This is your choice. Try to heal yourself first. If it helps, then why would you need to do anything else? If it doesn't help, you'll need to do something else anyway, no matter what.
And I also get sick often. Does it happen because of lack of energy?
Yes, you are simply weakened.
Thank you, Dr. Torsunov. We're waiting for you in Ufa in December.
Thank you. Goodbye.
All the best. Goodbye. We are moving on to the second consultation. Hello. We can barely hear you. Could you get closer to the microphone or turn up the volume somehow? A bit better. But could you make it a little more? Either get closer or louder.
How about now?
Yes, it's better now. Like this, yes. I will now read your letter to us. Your name is Sarah, is that correct?
Yes.
So, you've come with complaints about iron deficiency anemia. Currently, you're undergoing treatment. You experience heaviness in legs, back pain, as if carrying a mountain on your shoulders. You don't like the puffiness under your eyes. You have general fatigue. Also, you periodically have kidney problems. Often you just lie at night unable to sleep. Your mind just won't shut off. I'll now give the floor to Dr. Torsunov and he will continue.
Hello. Your constitution, like the previous one, is Vata Prakriti. That means that your constitution is connected with the energy of air. In other words, you need to move in fresh air, especially because the main issues are connected with movement in your body. Well, before I talk about this, I will now speak sequentially. The first thing I want to say is that your Rasadhatu is affected, the very first energy layer and outer petal. This outer petal is connected with the skin in the body. I don't think this is the reason for puffiness under the eyes. The energetic blockage is specifically in the skin. It's connected with the skin itself because I don't see any serious puffiness in your case. I think it's simply like some kind of fatigue of the eyelids and so on. So this first layer is also connected with sleep, with a person's rest, and with speech. I think you also have some tension, some strains in your ability to converse, and you've already noted yourself that you have sleep disturbances. Because this very first petal, Rasadhatu, it's disturbed in your case. The movement is disrupted in the upper part of the body. I think it's approximately up to the neck, to the spine. So that's why all disturbances are connected with the head. Next, something you haven't told us. You have a disturbance in the next energy layer, which is called Mamsadhatu, the inner layer. It's connected with the muscles of the spine, with the muscles of the stomach, intestines, and it's connected with the uterus. In your body, the disturbances start from the lower back and go downward. This means that over time you may feel a tendency toward constipation or diarrhea, as well as uterine disorders in the form of various nodules, fibroids, and so on. You need to get checked.
Dr. Torsunov, excuse me. I was at the gynecologist today. They found something.
They found a fibroid, right? Well, this is exactly what I discovered. Although you didn't tell us about it, there is subtle diagnostics of a person, and it shows that these channels are blocked specifically in the lower part of your body. Mamsadatu, the inner layer connected with muscle tissue, and therefore there is also a dysfunction of the rectum, that's for sure. There is a disturbance, as you've already noted, in the uterus, and most likely, over time, you will feel disturbance in the lumbar spine in the form of heaviness, some unpleasant sensations, and so on. So if we talk about Rasadhatu, that is the very first energy layer. We're going back to our discussion. There are 3 types of oil. 3 types of oils that suit everyone, but each person needs their own specific one. Since this first layer is treated with oils, therefore I suggest you choose coconut oil from the 3. These are clarified butter, coconut, and sesame oils. Coconut oil is sold in basically all Indian goods stores. You need to apply this coconut oil on your body, and you can even apply it to your hair in the evening before bed. The treatment cycle for application is as follows. You apply oil on your body for 7 days, and then stop using it for 7 days. Actually, you can take breaks as you wish, and you need to apply it in the following way. You go to the shower, and when your body is wet, you just drop small drops of oil on your hair, on the skin of different body parts, and spread this drop, for example, 1 drop over the entire arm, another over the entire leg, and so on. You don't need much oil. Then you dry your whole body and only the smell of oil remains. And this oil will heal you all night. It will improve sleep. It will give a fire energy effect because your illness, insomnia, is connected with excessive air energy in the body. This excessive air energy is also overcome by thick oiling of the body, which can be done once a week, I think on Mondays, because the moon is connected with sleep. This should be done in the morning. So, in the morning after a shower, you oil your entire body. Wait for 20 minutes, and then wash this oil off. You can wash with soap, rinse off the oil, and dry yourself. Our next issue, this fibroid, these nodules, if they are small, it's good to practice prolonged movement simultaneously. Running is the best method for you. Running is best because during running, the uterus gets exercised. Running or fast walking and wearing a therapeutic preventive belt at least, which will help dissolve the nodule. Running and wearing this belt will give very good results. This belt will contain serpentine stone. This service is provided remotely at our center. You don't need to come to us. And how much does the belt cost now?
The belt costs from $115 to $170.
The belt price depends on the number of plates that you will need to have installed. There can be from 2 to 8 plates. That's the maximum needed. Also, roots can be used for treatment. This is a more expensive method and requires longer work with a person. Well, this is also possible, so the belt together with roots give better possibilities. Small fibroids dissolve better. We have some positive changes even in this regard. Dr. Azarov.
Yes, I wanted to say a few words. They found you said a polyp. Did I hear correctly?
Yes, a polyp.
It's just a bit hard to hear. And what's the size of the polyp?
2 centimeters.
2 centimeters, yes?
No, then it's a bit different. The belt will work, but treatment should not be with running. I just didn't hear properly either. I thought it was a fibroid. I'm sorry. If it's a polyp, then you need to be treated with these oil applications. This oil can help.
Will yoga help?
The oil will definitely help. Yes, yoga will help too, for sure. But yoga will also help you in treating the spine, like a prevention method. The illness you have doesn't go away anyway. What I said, the possibility of fibroid development, disturbance in the intestines and in the lumbar spine. You still have these problems. So since a polyp has appeared, it means at your very first energy layer, both outer and inner petals are affected. This is the area of insomnia. Insomnia and this polyp are the most difficult diseases to cure in your body. You need to dedicate a lot of attention and effort to this because this is exactly the energy layer which is the most difficult to heal in your body. Pay more attention to it. So, the next energy layer that is affected in your body is the layer connected to the nervous system. It is also connected to blood-forming tissues. This layer is at the 6th level. This is the 6th level. By the way, your oiling scheme has also changed since you have such diseases. You should apply oil for 2 days, then 2 days break. That means that the oiling scheme has also changed. So yoga suits you because it will specifically treat the 3rd energy layer. Yoga will help here, specifically flexion and extension exercises for the spine, so you can bend forward and backward. For you, the most important thing is backward bending exercises. They will help your health more than forward bending ones. You can kneel down and bend backward and stay like that for 7-8 minutes and then bend forward for about 3 minutes. This is the minimal routine I suggest for you. So also the outer layer connected to the nervous system, the 6th one, has been affected since birth. It is connected with kidneys, hormonal functions. Let me see which ones. Thyroid gland. And it's also connected with iron deficiency anemia, which you told us about. So, how is it treated? It is treated with active exercises and fresh air. Moreover, fresh air and movement outdoors is beneficial for your constitution. Therefore, these exercises outdoors and fresh air are also fundamental for treating your iron deficiency anemia. People often think they lack iron in their diet. This is incorrect thinking. You specifically need to do these active exercises outdoors, like Qigong, Wushu, to treat this type of disease. About your cough, is it yours, no?
No.
Good. So this might be connected with the first layer. That means these afflictions at the throat level are also possible in your body, and you also have a tendency to catch colds. Basically, I've said everything. What questions do you have?
I would like to start going to the swimming pool.
Swimming pool is absolutely not recommended for you. It won't give you any good healing results. What's recommended for you is oiling and movement outdoors.
Thank you very much.
I would like to say a few words about treatment and ask about iron deficiency anemia. What are your hemoglobin levels?
Around 70.
Around 70?
The scale is 80-90.
80-90, and it's been bothering you for a long time, right? The anemia?
Yes. The thing is, I worked at the computer all the time, and apparently I also had active brain function for 14 years.
Yes, you're saying it right. The computer and its effect on the spinal cord is also connected with this sixth layer. And computer and nervous system too. Therefore, when your nervous system gets stressed, when you have nervous tension, stress, and various breakdowns, all of this will lead to anemia and sleep disturbance naturally.
I wanted to add that in your situation, what Dr. Torsunov said. You can do it independently. You definitely need to try it. If suddenly you feel the need for some additional treatment, Dr. Torsunov talked about our methods. If we talk about effectiveness, particularly regarding iron deficiency anemia, we have quite good results. As for polyps, based on our experience, it usually requires longer treatment using our methods, somewhere from 6 months to a year, and it's preferable to use both, a therapeutic belt and roots together, if we're talking about our center's methods.
Well, that's all then. Goodbye. We still have at least 12 people waiting, and time is short.
All the best. Get well. Goodbye. So, we continue our consultations, and we are calling the next patient.
Good evening.
Could you please turn off the broadcast?
Of course.
Thank you. So, now the main points. You wrote quite a long message. The main points that directly concern health in our consultation. You note that you recently updated your information, as you initially contacted us about conception. You had doubts about this, and now just recently you found out about your first pregnancy, for which I can congratulate you. So now you're somewhere around the 4th or 5th week of pregnancy, and here you describe your questions. I'll read them now. Can you give recommendations about diet regime and my health condition? Also, can Dr. Torsunov determine from the photo what are the resources of my body for the upcoming pregnancy? How will the fetus develop, and will it develop? Which energy channels are blocked in my body? What should I do to cleanse them, and to ensure the pregnancy and delivery go well? In ancient times, saints could see which channel was blocked, and they cleansed it using sounds, and you're asking for such a sound for cleansing.
This is possible. The question is how well you can perceive it.
And also you mention here that some pregnant women are given bark, and if I need it, I would like to order it by mail. Also you express desire to go through pregnancy under our supervision, and you had earlier questions about health. So about the diagnoses, there's mitral valve prolapse. Sometimes the heart rhythm gets irregular. It manifests as a feeling that it's fluttering rather than beating, and it goes away on its own. If you ensure rest, lie down or sit down. There's also vegetative vascular dystonia, which manifests in headaches, mainly for several days before menstruation and during the first 3 days of the menstrual cycle. Quick fatigue, frequent tonsil inflammation in the form of sore throat, also varicose veins in the form of a mesh pattern on legs in several places. These are the main issues. Now I'll pass the word to Dr. Torsunov, and he will answer your questions.
So your constitution is connected with the energy of the sun. It's called Pitta Prakriti. The energy of the sun or fire is the main healing force in your body. This suggests that you...
One moment. Could you please put on headphones or lower the Skype volume a bit? We're getting sound feedback.
Spices such as cardamom, asafoetida, nutmeg, and cloves can be added to food in small amounts. They will improve your health. The sun is good for you. You need to be in the sun. The rising sun is the most healing sun. Also, movement is very beneficial for you for your healing. Speaking of energy channels, the first affected energy channel is Rata Dhatu, or the second petal, connected with blood vessels. And it's affected in both upper and lower parts of your body. In the upper part, It causes cerebral circulation problems, which you haven't mentioned to us. You have this problem, there's some dizziness, sluggishness in your head. Colds. This affects the nasal canals, nose, throat, nasopharynx. All of this is part of the affected area. Varicose disease is connected specifically with this pedal. This pedal cannot negatively affect pregnancy. It's not affected in your fetus carrying zone. The next petal is called mamsadatu, or muscle tissue. This one is affected the most in your case. The affected area is in the upper body zone, and it affects the neutral valve. The condition is specifically related to this pedal. Your arrhythmia is not of nervous origin, but muscular. It's a disorder in the muscles, not in the nervous system of the heart. I can tell you this with certainty. You have a predisposition to spine disease. In the upper cervical and thoracic regions, you may experience periodic headaches or dizziness. This part of the pedal is also affected. This pedal and the previous one can cause pregnancy toxicosis. Feeling of weakness during pregnancy. It's the vascular system that may react to carrying a fetus. It won't affect the fetus, but you will suffer. This is possible, because there is a disorder specifically in the head area. Speaking of the outer petal, which is connected with joints and muscles of arms and legs, it's also affected in the upper part of the body. You might already have some slight pain in your shoulders and elbows, which you haven't mentioned to us, but according to the diagnosis, it's visible. Either it's happening now or will happen later. Both static and dynamic exercises are extremely important for you. For your health, I see a very high degree of physical inactivity. You are passive when it comes to movement. Perhaps you wake up late. Your vascular dynamics are also weak. All this became the reason for difficulties with conception. Overall, the body's energy is weakened. Especially now, during pregnancy, it's extremely necessary to walk outdoors for at least an hour a day if you want to be healthy and carry the baby to term. This is extremely necessary for you. You must definitely do this. Walks should be taken somewhere between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. The next affected petal is the one connected with hormonal functions, metadatu. It's affected in the female hormone zone, meaning the appendages, and there are disorders there. They cause your delay in conceiving a child. This petal, as it rises, can cause kidney disorders over time. Right now it seems this doesn't affect you. Metadatu is treated through body cleansing. This cleansing should be done with vegetables that grow above ground. I already gave similar advice during the first consultation. These vegetables are zucchini, patty pan squash, pumpkin. Pumpkin is more suitable for you now. Zucchini might cause a little tension. You shouldn't do any cleansing now because you're carrying a baby. Just eat slightly undercooked zucchini, pumpkin, and patty pan squash. This will be good for your hormonal health. During this time, it's very beneficial for you to drink more milk in the evening and morning. Warm milk with honey. This will increase your hormone levels and strengthen your ability to carry the baby. I repeat, the most important thing for your ability to carry the child is outdoor walks. And don't stay in bed too long in the mornings. This will have an extremely negative effect on the fetus. Your wake-up time should be between 5:30 and 7 a.m. You should not get up earlier or later than this for your life to be well organized. There is a certain disturbance in the movement of fire energy in your body, although it heals you, seems to be due to physical inactivity. Therefore, you need to limit. Don't overdo it with hot spices. You need to eat them. They are beneficial for your health. But spices like red pepper, black pepper should be completely excluded, and tomato paste should also be excluded from your diet. Speaking of nutrition, the best for you now is semi-raw, stewed food. I don't see any major dietary restrictions. Don't add cumin group spices or bay leaf to food, which can cause uterine contractions. Don't overdo it with salads now. These are my recommendations.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, but briefly because we have other people waiting. Go ahead.
Is it beneficial to walk in the morning dew or roll in dew or snow?
No snow, no dew. While you have a baby inside, there should be no cooling of feet. Feet should be kept warm, but walks are extremely necessary. It's better not in the morning, but a bit later, because going out early in the morning will overstimulate the body. Better do morning exercises at home, which is also undoubtedly beneficial for you. The butterfly pose is good for you. You should sit in it for 10 minutes a day.
What kind of pose?
The butterfly pose. It's a hatha yoga exercise. It will improve uterine blood circulation. It's beneficial for the fetus.
Do I need to use bark?
No, you don't need any bark or roots now. If you want to order something from us, you can order a color scheme. These are 4 rings for fingers and bracelets for arms and legs, and a belt. But I warn you that you need to start wearing these very carefully. If you want it to help, it will help you. But the beginning of treatment is like this. You put everything on your arms and legs. If you feel that something doesn't suit you, remove it immediately and write to us. The most difficult part will be starting the treatment and selecting the right scheme. And when we select everything, We might need to send the belt a couple of times if the stone doesn't suit you. If you feel even slightly that something is wrong, you should remove it immediately to avoid disturbing the fetus. If we select everything correctly this way, then the stones will help you carry the baby to term. You will have a belt and a scheme with stones. You don't need any bark or roots now.
Do I need supplements, vitamins?
We will prescribe them for you. Don't get carried away with it. It's very dangerous. If you want, we can prescribe everything for you.
Do I need to call to order it additionally?
You can order a belt, vitamins, and supplements. We have such a service. Yes, you can.
You said that spices like cardamom and nutmeg are allowed during pregnancy, but just a little. How much exactly? How to determine the amount so as not to harm the fetus and make it beneficial for me?
A little means it should be tasty for you. It shouldn't be spicy. You shouldn't feel the heat, but it should be pleasant. It shouldn't be too spicy, just a pleasant taste. You need a pleasant, spicy taste for your body to function normally.
Concerning the exercises, I can do the butterfly pose. What other exercises might be suitable for me?
Any exercises for pregnant women? Look up pregnancy exercises on the internet.
Exercises or yoga?
Only the butterfly pose as yoga exercise. Everything else should be dynamic exercises and walking outdoors in fresh air.
Okay, thank you very much.
I wanted to add, if you want to order something from us, you can contact us through any contacts available at the center, call by phone, or write an email.
Regarding food, you mentioned zucchini, pumpkin. Is this for both me and the baby?
It's suitable for both of you.
Should I listen to myself if I don't want zucchini?
The system during pregnancy is this. Everything you don't want, don't eat. Everything you want, eat. That's your entire diet.
Are various frozen herbs suitable?
It's fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. Research all herbs on the internet to check for any contraindications during pregnancy.
Thank you.
All the best. Wishing you a successful pregnancy and delivery of a healthy baby. Goodbye. We continue with consultations and are calling the next patient. Hello, good evening. Is this Sarah?
Yes, that's correct.
I will now read the complaints regarding your daughter that you contacted us about. Her name is Lika, 5 years old. The main reason for consultation is bedwetting. She wets the bed almost every night, though during the day she uses the bathroom normally. The second issue is that you'd like to strengthen her immunity. Are these two issues, or is there anything else?
That's all for now.
I want to tell you that I test each person. Unfortunately, I can only talk about your daughter. We have many other people waiting. You submitted 2 requests. We chose your daughter. I think you agree with this.
Yes, thank you.
I'll tell you about her. She has a Vata constitution which is connected with air. This means that movement, walks, and running are extremely necessary for her health. Fresh air is the foundation of her healthy lifestyle. The damage to the energy channels is as follows. The first layer, the vascular one, is affected, specifically the inner part of the vascular energy channel. For your child specifically, the disturbances start from the legs and end right at the bladder. This is not directly related to bedwetting, but the mucous membranes of the lower intestines, reproductive organs, as well as leg vessels, such as varicose disease, may develop throughout life. These conditions may appear over time as well as hemorrhoids. You need to be attentive and monitor your child. This layer is treated through active dynamic movements. This can be running, various jumps, jumping rope. She needs to move her legs. Movement with legs will give her health related to the vascular layer. The next layer is called Mamsa Dhatu, the third one. It's connected with the muscular system, including the bladder muscles. That's exactly where the damage related to bedwetting is located. When bedwetting occurs, the damage is twofold. On one hand, there's a very strong tension in the bladder, like in her case, and on the other hand, there's very strong tension in the brain. The function of Mamsa Dhatu is also connected with the brain, specifically with a person's tone. When the tension is at its maximum, it can lead to epilepsy or some convulsive conditions. Your child is not at risk for this because the affected areas are slightly different. Here's what's happening. During the day, your child is very tense, very fidgety, hyperactive, and at night there's a strong inhibition of brain tone. This strong inhibition leads to disrupted bladder regulation. Spontaneous bladder spasms give exactly this result. The bladder empties itself and the child wets the bed. The cause is the brain, specifically its tone. This is connected with damage to the layer called Mamsa Dhatu. How can you prevent this on your own? The only thing I could recommend if the child wants to do it is the plow pose and shoulder stand, raising legs up. Brain relief occurs after 5-6 minutes of lying with legs up. You can play with her during this time. If she lies like this for 5, 6, 7 minutes a day, it will gradually lead to recovery. This should be done, I think, in the evening, maybe around 6-7 p.m. Yoga heals the layer connected with muscle tissue. It can also affect the uterus in the future. There could be fibroids. You need to be careful. Hatha yoga protects from this. Also, headaches and cervical osteochondrosis might develop, which is connected with this layer, and vision problems may occur. These are preventive measures that you need to start doing now. I can now see small spasms in her eye muscles. You need to massage her eyes. Start doing eye exercises now to prevent problems. There is another layer connected with the nervous system. The layer connected with the nervous system is affected at the chest area level. This won't affect health now, but in the future it may affect susceptibility to colds. There might already be a tendency to catch colds, and in the future there could be mastopathy. These diseases can appear in middle age. There's a predisposition to this disease, as well as thyroid diseases. But now you need to protect the child from colds. How to protect? You need to keep spruce pine branches in some container with water near the headboard at home. By the way, during sleep it will also help relieve tension. This is also good advice. Place pine branches at the headboard. They last for 2 weeks, then you can pick fresh ones. They will prevent colds and relax the brain. Regarding the methods of our center, the belt together with black and white scheme, that means black and white stones on fingers and wrist, provide brain relaxation and remove this problem from the body. This is a complex treatment. It can be used even for children of this age. In general, I've told you everything about your child. What questions do you have?
Thank you very much. I have this question. We regularly have pine branches at home. I apply bandages to my daughter.
Apply bandages to the left hand and left leg.
Left?
Yes, this is her individual scheme.
Maybe it was a coincidence, but after the bandages, it seemed to me she had hives. Maybe it wasn't from this?
Because you applied them on the right side, it caused stress in her body. Apply them on the left side. The size of twigs should be 5 centimeters, no more.
I understand, thank you. And my second question is about the climate. How can the climate change affect when moving from St. Petersburg to, for example, the southern region? Is it beneficial for the child?
The child will be cured of enuresis immediately, because cold is exactly what causes this disease. But it will be harder for you to live there because your body doesn't like too much heat.
I'm always cold.
But it will be difficult for you there too. You'll feel it in summer.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Take care, be healthy.
Thank you so much. Good health to you too.
We continue to call the next patient. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
This is Olga, right? I will now read your complaints and then pass the word to Dr. Torsunov. You complain about pain in the heart area. The diagnosis is extrasystole. It was diagnosed 2 years ago. You feel rhythm disturbance daily before sleep. Also, with loud sounds, loud voice, heavy, loud music, stressful situations, sometimes there is pain radiating to the left arm. In addition, you are concerned about seborrhea on the left side of the head and skin problems on palms and feet. Dr. Torsunov?
So, your constitution is kapha prakriti, which means that for your health, water and water bodies are most beneficial. That means you need deep contact with water to maintain health in your life. And taking baths is also very recommended for you. As for the skin, indeed you have a double affliction on the very first energy layer, associated specifically with skin and mucous membranes of the body. Unfortunately, this affliction is double. This means that not only your skin suffers, but also the mucous membranes. Unfortunately, your mucous membranes in the lower part of the body are affected. This means that there may be some problems with the mucous membranes of female organs, as well as the lower intestines. That means this is a chronic, lifelong condition, so you need to monitor it. As for the outer pedal, conversely, there is an affliction of the upper body, and therefore the hands and head are affected. This affliction is treated with water energy. Water energy is needed. This means that you need to eat more raw, watery vegetables, such as cucumbers, also Chinese cabbage. That means green salad vegetables. You can eat greens too. You need to increase the amount of such food because it will provide energy necessary for normal skin function. Sprouted grains are also good. That means food connected with water energy, fresh food. Don't get too carried away with cooked and fried food. I think that raw food in your diet should make up at least 50%. I also recommend you to use oil. For treating your skin, let me think about what suits you. Clarified butter suits you. This won't change throughout your life. An oil massage of the whole body is very beneficial for you, which you need to do in the first half of the day in the morning. That means after a shower you should apply clarified butter on your whole body. Spread a few drops of it over your body. Do this for 2 consecutive days and then take a break for 2 days. This will also help you with your skin. So the clarified butter application should be done on a wet body and then wiped off. Only the smell of clarified butter remains on the body. The clarified butter itself is not visible. This can also greatly help with your skin. Heart rhythm disturbance is connected with the third pedal, which is related to the muscles of internal organs, including the heart. This disturbance is not connected with the nervous system of the heart, but specifically with the muscular system. Therefore, treatment of muscle tissue is needed. Treatment of muscle tissue is carried out by doing static exercises. The best for you is the inverted pose. This is the shoulder stand pose, the plow pose. They should be done for at least 15 minutes a day. And then do a backward bend on your knees for about 4 minutes to complete this exercise. That's such an exercise. Swimming is, of course, the best sport for you. Swimming in a pool is also very recommended for you because Majadatu is also affected, which is related to the nervous system. By the way, if we talk about Mamsadatu, about this muscle pedal, it is also connected with the spine in the upper body, which means your upper thoracic spine is already suffering now. Therefore, you also need dynamic exercises. These are bends, I think at least 40-50 bends per day need to be done so that the spine doesn't suffer too much further. On this pedal, there are also headaches and fibroids, which often occur in women. Your affliction is connected to headaches, so you need to do neck and head rotations and try not to overexert yourself in the evenings to avoid excessive body tension. Contrast shower also suits you well, and sauna for relaxation and tension relief. And the affliction of Majadatu, of the nervous system in your case, is connected with the lower part of the body. That means a tendency to disorders in the appendages, kidneys, and hormonal functions. You have such a predisposition, it can be treated with Qigong, pranayama, that means breathing and movement exercises in fresh air. This can help you, but overall your body is strong and not prone to illnesses in general. You don't have a predisposition to be sick. If you maintain an active lifestyle, you won't get seriously ill.
Do you have any questions?
Yes. Can I ask another question about nutrition? I'm quite thin, weighing 60 kilograms at a height of 178. My husband says, come on, eat normally. And I'm, transitioning to a vegetarian diet.
You just need to eat more protein-rich food. You need to eat more food that contains oil and protein. You won't harm your body with oil, so you lack oil and protein in your body, so that's what needs to be done. If you don't eat enough raw food, your skin will not be healthy. All this excess heat from food will go to your face and hands. But the portion of cooked food that you will eat, not fried but boiled, should contain enough oil and protein, so it should be oil-rich and protein-rich. And protein comes from paneer or cheese. Sprouted grains provide a lot of protein. Don't worry about not eating meat. Meat is not needed by humans at all. It's harmful food for health. This has been proven 1,000 times through various dissertations, and the World Health Organization has already stated it twice, once in 1979 and again in 2015. But people like to eat meat, so they don't listen to doctors and think that it's necessary food for the body. This food has never been good for health and will never be.
Can I also ask about cleansing? I've been doing the Prakshalan practice.
You don't need to do any Prakshalan practice because you don't have the kind of problems in your body that Prakshalan cleanses. All your blocked energy channels are due to lack of static and dynamic movement, fresh air, and oiling. What you need to do is oil massages. That's good for you, but various emetics, laxatives, and everything else, that's not your treatment.
Okay, thank you very much.
I wanted to clarify about health center methods. What is prescribed in this situation, Dr. Torsunov?
In this situation, the belt together with black and white scheme is prescribed. This will immediately remove tension in the body. The skin will be better. This relaxing method is exactly what suits you. There's very strong tension in the body, and excessive tension is causing weight loss. This is just strong tension in the body. If you add dynamic exercises, static exercises, and water sessions, all the tension will go away, relaxation will come. Saunas, contrasting hot and cold showers will be good for you.
Dr. Torsunov answered about the method. And also, I wanted to add about the effectiveness of the methods.
We have quite good results regarding seborrhea and the skin condition that Dr. Torsunov diagnosed.
And regarding the heart also, extrasystoles, it's also possible to influence it quite successfully using these methods.
Are there any additional methods besides the black and white scheme and the belt?
Yes, these are our methods.
Yes, that's what we mean.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right then, all the best to you. Get well, goodbye.
All the best.
So we continue with our consultations.
Sandra.
Hello, is this Sandra?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. I'll first read your complaints and diagnoses and then give the floor to Dr. Torsunov.
Okay, thank you.
So first, you're concerned about first-degree anemia, hemoglobin 97. You've been a vegetarian for 6 years. Allergy of unknown origin suddenly appeared 4 months ago in the form of itching and eczema under the eyes. Also, there are signs of skin aging. Many women of the same age look better.
So Sandra, I have analyzed your health, tested you. You have a fiery constitution called Pitta Prakriti. Sun together with water will help your health a lot, because sun alone is not very good for your health. Because despite having a fiery constitution, your fire energy is also in imbalance, and all this fire energy unfortunately goes to your head. And the cause of this imbalance, as I understand, is mental tension. Therefore, the one thing you must definitely do is practice some meditation, prayers to relieve tension, as well as pranayama, qigong. Breathing exercises can help you very well. And I think increasing raw food in your diet won't hurt, because there's too much fire in your body, and it all goes to your head. First you had skin allergies, but initially your skin was just as you say, aging. It was simply burning, it's drying up like from fire. And now you also have an allergy. It's simply a worsening of the same thing, meaning it's just a different stage of the illness. The problem is related to the second petal. The second dhatu has 2 petals, internal and external. The internal one is connected with the mucous membranes of the nose, throat, bronchi, eyes, and the external one is connected with the skin. And they are both affected in the upper part of your body. This means that you have a tendency to catch colds, which you haven't told me about, and also have a tendency for facial skin conditions, because this petal has been affected since birth. It's not the skin that's suffering, but the small vessels in your face, just so you know. These small capillaries are overheating, and they cause this sensation of disturbed skin elasticity. That's the problem. Therefore, for treatment, you need to use creams that specifically affect the vascular system of the body, meaning they should have a cooling effect. You need to apply cooling creams. Look for skin cooling creams because your skin overheats, and it needs to be moisturized and cooled. These are the 2 actions you need. And also know that if you go to the south, swim in the sea and run in the sun, not lying in the sun but moving, and do it in the mornings rather than during the day. And during this time, mainly eat raw food, then your skin will become younger. And if you want your skin to always stay young, eat as many greens as possible. There's a good way to do this. You can put boxes for growing greens on the windowsill and just plant amaranth, which is sold everywhere in flower shops. Amaranth seeds, green ones, they sell them as flowers, and grow your own greens, cut them when they just sprout, and stew them. You can stew them, make salads, blend greens, and drink them. If your diet consists of 30-40% greens, it can be spinach, lettuce leaves, parsley, dill, celery, and so on. Your skin will undoubtedly be much better. Now moving forward, I've finished with the skin, so you have an affected outer petal of the 4th dhatu, which is connected with fatty tissue. Unfortunately, you haven't told us anything about this, but I can diagnose it myself. You have a tendency towards obesity.
Gaining excess weight.
You need to monitor this.
Actually, I don't have it, right?
You have a tendency.
Maybe, but I don't feel it.
Okay, that's great. You may not feel it. This tendency means that benign tumors can also appear in internal organs with heavy evening meals. You need fasting. I believe the most beneficial fasting for you is on Wednesdays, as it's also connected to the skin. There are 3 fasting options, either only eating greens and drinking green juices, eating nothing at all, or water fasting. Water fasting is also good for you to cool down, especially to cool your head. You would also benefit from saunas or contrast temperature therapies to relieve tension in your head and reduce overheating. Of course, the greatest danger in your life is benign tumors.
I already have a 2-centimeter myoma.
Say that again.
I already have a 2-centimeter myoma.
This can be treated using our plates, our belt, and roots. It's also very beneficial for you to jog. If you have a myoma, running is good. Let me test again to understand how significant this diagnosis is for you. Because in the body, such conditions can sometimes be temporary and sometimes stable. Yes, I wasn't mistaken. This is not a dangerous diagnosis for you. The myoma won't grow further. It's clear you've just been a bit lazy. You have physical inactivity in your body, and because of this, the fibroid formed. If you start jogging in the mornings, it will dissolve on its own within 6 months without any treatment. More dangerous for you is mastopathy. Check your breasts regularly because this is where the greatest risk lies, in the thyroid gland and the breasts. This is the most significant risk in your body concerning benign tumors. As for anemia, there's a predictable cause behind it. The cause lies in the blood formation processes that occur in the femur and arm bones. These blood-forming processes are slowed down. The reason for anemia is this sluggish process, which is also due to laziness. You need to move more. Just running, being active in the fresh air, that's the entire treatment for anemia, along with eating green foods. Your health lies in greens and running. These are my main recommendations. Be less lazy and don't just sit on the bed like a brooding hen.
Please tell me, is there any benefit to running in a gym?
For anemia, there's no benefit at all. Because running should accumulate prana, the subtle energy, and that's what's important for you. This is crucial. For example, in terms of burning fat, yes, there's a benefit. For treating and preventing mastopathy, there's a benefit. But for treating anemia, no. Only running in the fresh air, in parks, will give you results.
Can I run in winter?
Of course, you'll cool down.
But I'm already cold.
You feel cold because your external blood vessels are very warm and release a lot of heat. That's why you feel cold, but this doesn't mean your body isn't overheated. It's an illusion.
Can I ask another question?
Go ahead.
Is there currently a problem with my thyroid gland?
I already told you there are 2 conditions in your body that can cause thyroid issues. It's the 6th petal and the 4th, so undoubtedly, as I see it, the function is slightly reduced.
I had inflammation a few years ago, and now I'm afraid it's coming back.
This inflammation is exactly what I'm warning you about. Excessive consumption of heavy foods in the evenings is the main cause of this inflammation. And you did this just last night. You overate in the evening. This immediately affected your thyroid.
Thank you very much.
You need to get further tests done on your thyroid gland to have a clearer understanding for yourself.
Yes, I have an ultrasound appointment scheduled for tomorrow.
Dr. Torsunov, which of your methods are recommended in this case?
The belt plus roots is the best option. For the skin, a complete program is better. The skin responds well to black and white treatment schemes. We've had good results. The belt and roots will help burn off these growths. This tendency in the thyroid will be eliminated, and the belt will also help treat anemia. All of this is necessary. But all this is due to laziness. If you lead an active life, I believe half of the issues will resolve on their own.
Understood.
The recommendation is that you try to handle this yourself, and I think you'll succeed. But if you encounter any difficulties along the way, you can seek help. I think we'll be able to assist you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. All the best to you, and take care.
All the best. Happiness to you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Do we have 2 Ericksons here?
Yes, it's a married couple. Our next consultation is for a married couple. Calling them. Hello, good evening. Hello, can you hear me?
Good evening.
Can you either turn up your microphone or speak a little louder and closer to it?
Sure, I'll speak louder.
That's better. Your name is Kate, correct?
Yes, I'm Kate.
This is a joint consultation, with Andrew as well, right?
No, we'll go one at a time.
One at a time, but you're both here together. I'll then read out your known diagnoses and concerns, and hand things over to Dr. Torsunov.
Thank you.
So, first, you're concerned about cystitis, reporting burning sensations and sometimes pain in the lower abdomen. This happens with stress, cold exposure, or after arguments and emotional outbursts.
Yes.
Secondly, you're concerned about the absence of children. You've previously undergone treatment for adnexatus with magnetotherapy. After the treatment, your painful periods improved and your cycle normalized, but you haven't had an ultrasound to confirm recovery. You also mentioned a tendency towards self-harm. Could you please clarify when this magnet therapy treatment took place?
At the end of October?
This year, correct? At the end of October this year, right?
Yes.
The third point is the tendency towards self-harm. What does that mean?
It's this state. It's like something is tearing me apart from the inside, and I don't know where to go or what to do.
I see. I understand what it means, generally speaking.
All right, then Dr. Torsunov will continue.
Kate, good afternoon. I've conducted a diagnosis, examined your constitution, and reviewed some practices. You need sunlight for health, sun energy in food in the form of spices, as well as direct exposure to sunlight outdoors. This will help you be healthy and happy. A lack of sun energy leads to the depletion of your body. Regarding your energy channels, the very first channel, the inner pedal, is affected at the level of the mucous membranes in the body. It's particularly affected in the lower back and lower part of the body. As a result, there is a tendency for issues with the mucous membranes in the female reproductive system, as well as the mucous membranes of the bladder, which leads to cystitis. It's not the muscle tissue or spasms in the bladder, but rather damage to the mucous membrane. There's also a tendency for damage to the intestinal mucous membrane. Primarily, the mucous membranes in the lower part of the body are affected. What are the treatment options? Since this concerns mucous membranes, oiling the body can be highly effective. Oiling the body can yield excellent results for your condition. Let me check which oil is most suitable. Sesame oil is the best for you. It should be applied to the body in the mornings. Apply sesame oil for 8 days, then take an 8-day break. This cycle of sesame oil treatment can help cure cystitis and also serve as a preventive measure against infertility. Oil also carries the energy of fire, so oiling in general is very beneficial for your health and will help treat your ailments. Apply the oil while showering. After standing under the shower, lightly apply a small amount of oil all over your body, including your hair. Then rinse lightly without soap, or don't rinse at all, and dry off with a towel. You'll need only a very small amount of oil, a homeopathic dose. Continue this oiling process for 8 days, followed by an 8-day break. This system of oiling can be used for life. Use light sesame oil. For treating cystitis, it's essential to know that if you eat in the evening stewed or cooked tomatoes, tomato paste, olive oil, red or bell peppers, or anything spicy or fried, you will undoubtedly wake up with cystitis in the morning. This is because mucous membranes are affected by overheating, which is caused by improper diet. The mucous membranes are harmed by overheating, linked to certain foods. So you need to monitor your evening meals, especially spicy foods which you undoubtedly enjoy because of your body constitution. You should eat spicy foods during the day, and it's preferable to avoid red peppers and instead use other types of spices. Red peppers and tomato paste are not ideal choices for your lifestyle in general.
Should I also avoid tomato paste?
Better forget about it. It's not your product. I understand with your body constitution you're drawn to it. But you need to use other spices. Coriander, nutmeg, white pepper is very good for hormonal functions. Spices like asafoetida are excellent for female hormonal health and should be added to your meals. Moving on. You're a bit unlucky with your husband, as all your health issues are primarily related to your female reproductive system. Unfortunately, his male system has its own challenges as well. I analyzed him too, but your situation is a bit more complex. The next petal, the inner metadhatu petal, is connected to your ovaries, and both of your ovaries are weakened. Their energy is reduced, and your hormonal functions are also impaired. If the energy of the ovaries is reduced, it means there's simply not enough life activity. Your body is very passive, sluggish. You need to force yourself to move as much as possible. For women's health, as I mentioned earlier, vegetables that grow above the ground are essential. Fasting on Fridays with raw or lightly cooked food, such as zucchini, pumpkin, and patty pan squash, will strengthen female hormonal power. But unfortunately, the problem doesn't end there. Your shukradhatu is affected. This is directly connected to hormonal functions. Both petals are affected. The outer petal is responsible for the ability to conceive children, and the inner petal is linked to your anxiety, which you described as a tendency to harm yourself. This anxiety or hypersensitivity, combined with systemic disruption of hormonal functions in the body, is your main issue. And this issue is treated through prayer, meditation, and spiritual life. You lack optimism in life. Additionally, you need to cultivate relationships with women, gentle, supportive connections. Engage in more feminine energy through friendships with women, and of course a mobile, active lifestyle is crucial for you. Fasting on raw or semi-raw foods combined with physical movement is especially important for you. Movement in the sun combined with water is essential. Sun, movement, and water. This means heading south, finding a body of water or a pool. But sunlight is non-negotiable because you have a solar constitution. For you, out of all the patients I've had today, I strongly recommend not delaying and reaching out to our wellness center. This is because you and your husband have many direct indications for not taking risks or wasting time. This is what I can immediately tell you. It includes a color therapy scheme using gemstones called the color scheme. Remember this. When there is such a concentration of issues, you need to combine health practices, physical activity, cleansing, and treatment simultaneously. I also recommend starting to take golden root, Rhodiola rosea. It is sold in pharmacies. The instructions for use are on the label. You should use it regularly. Drink Rhodiola rosea as tea every day. This will also boost your feminine strength. Do you have any questions?
Thank you very much. Is hair loss also connected to this?
Hair loss and cystitis are linked to the same petal. Both the upper and lower areas are affected. This connection explains it. Once you start oiling your hair, the hair loss will stop. It's not difficult to treat. For you, it is quite manageable to heal.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
I wanted to add something. Quite often, gynecological issues are the reason people seek help from our wellness center. And as a result, issues with conception. We also have quite good outcomes in this regard. I can't say we help 100% of people, but we have more than 50% positive results, provided there are no severe gynecological conditions. So you can certainly reach out to us.
In my case, can you help?
Yes, we can help in your case because you don't have any serious illnesses. You just need a little push from a doctor and a healthy lifestyle. You need to apply natural treatment methods to your body for both you and your husband. And in just about a year, you could already be pregnant. You're still young. You just need to stop delaying and trying to invent solutions on your own. I strongly recommend you start thinking about serious treatment now. This is the best option for you, especially since we've already helped many people with situations similar to yours.
Let's now pass the floor to Andrew.
Is Andrew here? Where is he coming from? Do you live in a palace? We don't have time to wait. Let me begin explaining and he can join us later.
Yes, I'm here.
Great, let's proceed.
Good evening. I'll start by listing the concerns. First, azoospermia. We haven't been able to conceive for over 2 years. There's insufficient seminal fluid, 3.5 million sperm per milliliter, all of them damaged. Alongside this, there's strong sexual desire, increased fatigue, reduced concentration, tension, insecurity, indecisiveness, and fears. Dr. Torsunov?
Your constitution is primarily kapha, combined with significant body overheating. This means that cold exposure is your primary therapeutic approach without question, alongside increasing the proportion of raw foods in your diet several-fold. I recommend that at least 60% of your diet consist of raw food compared to cooked food. This will immediately yield substantial results. Additionally, I recommend drinking ginseng root as it has been proven over centuries to enhance sperm activity. This has been a fact since ancient times. Regarding the affected channels in your body, unfortunately this is another complicated case. The first issue is with the rasa dhatu, internal lining associated with mucous membranes, and it affects the lower part of your body, particularly the urethra. You likely have urethritis, which leads to semen loss, sometimes during urination, without your awareness. This is caused by 2 combined factors. First, damage to the urethral mucosa. Second, damage to the muscular layer of the urethra. Both are linked to mamsa dhatu, muscle tissue, in the third pedal. In your case, both the internal and external layers are affected. This means that your condition is quite severe. Chronic urethritis is present. It also leads to spinal issues and problems in the lower intestines, specifically in your case. It can cause premature ejaculation and loss of semen through urination, among other symptoms. There are clear disruptions in this area. The primary reason for oligospermia is overheating of the semen. There is no other cause. Cold exposure is critically important for you. Not sudden cold exposure, though. I recommend lying in a slightly cool bath in the second half of the day, perhaps daily. Do this for about 10-15 minutes. Additionally, as I've mentioned, raw food, specifically root vegetables, like beets and carrots, should be your main focus. You can also add celery root and parsnip to salads, which will help increase sperm count. Overall, salads of any kind are highly recommended and extremely beneficial for your health. Regarding your high libido, there's another channel involved called Majja Dhatu. Unfortunately, it is also affected in the lower part of your body, and there is overheating there as well. This pertains to your nervous system, which also contributes to your strong desire. To treat this, I recommend, generally speaking, outdoor movement for both of you. In particular, I also recommend static exercises, especially the butterfly pose, which is very important for you. Since your Majja Dhatu nervous system is affected, static poses are necessary to alleviate it. For the Majja Dhatu, or nervous system, as well as the nerve endings in the sexual organs, the treatment is movement, specifically running. Running is recommended for both you and your wife, so you can safely start with 20-minute morning runs. This takes very little time, and if you have the financial resources to treat both of you at once, then both of you should undergo treatment. If it's not possible to pursue serious treatment with us, at the very least, you should start by wearing a therapeutic belt. The belt isn't very expensive, but it's effective and will start helping you right away. Along with the belt, you can take various Vedic preparations that will stimulate hormonal functions. This is the absolute minimum that both of you need to do, because both of you have fertility problems of equal severity. She has hormonal function issues, while your main problem is preserving your semen. It doesn't have time to mature, and there's also excess heat. That's why this is happening. That's everything I wanted to say.
Do you have any questions? Are skin problems also related? I have constant inflammation.
Let me test you again. That changes things. Yes, I made a small error. It's not a double mamsa issue. Instead, it's rasa. This means your skin is affected. If it's in the upper half of the body, sleep might also be affected. You might also experience difficulties with speech, feeling fatigued during conversations, and so on. This is a congenital condition, and it is treated through oil application. Coconut oil is suitable for your body. You need to apply it for 2 days, then take a 2-day break. You follow the same method I recommended for your wife, but your cycle is 2 days. This changes things as it means that in terms of MAMSA or the urethra, your situation isn't as severe. Instead, the issue shifts towards the skin and mucous membranes. That's where your main health problems lie.
Thank you. So apply the oil all over the body?
Yes, all over the body. Coconut oil doesn't overheat the body, so it suits you. This should only be done in the morning, never in the evening. Also eat more root vegetables. Focus your diet on roots and raw foods. This will improve your semen quality.
A few years ago, I started cold water therapy, and since then, I've developed prostatitis.
If you follow everything I'm recommending, nothing will develop. If you're worried, take contrast showers instead. Extreme cold water therapy is not suitable for you. Cold water and abrupt exposure to cold are not appropriate for your body type. If you take cool baths in the evenings, nothing bad will develop. Sudden exposure to cold doesn't work for you, but gradually cooler water won't harm you.
For how long?
Let me tell you the duration. 7 minutes in the bath, 7-8 minutes daily.
And running, 20 minutes is enough?
Running 20 minutes is plenty. No need for more.
All right, thank you. I wish you and your wife, Kate, good health. All the best to you. Goodbye. All right, we are continuing our consultations. Let's call the next person. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Is this Tatiana?
Yes, hello.
I'll now read your complaints and known diagnoses. Then I pass the microphone to Dr. Torsunov.
Okay, thank you.
My husband and I are thinking about having a second child. I had concerns because my first pregnancy and delivery were very difficult, but by God's grace, everything turned out fine. In my anxiety, I sought an astrological consultation from your center, and indeed my concerns were confirmed. My chart shows poor planetary placements for having children. Additionally, from May 2017 to December 2019, there will be a very unfavorable period with Saturn and Jupiter. This could lead to issues with the spine or joints. The main diagnoses and complaints include adenomyosis, osteochondrosis, migraines, dermaticosis, facial rashes, and chronic tonsillitis. You also recently added that you have a thyroid nodule. Your hormones are normal. There's mastopathy, poor teeth and nails, and quick fatigue. You have been practicing spiritual disciplines and have been a vegetarian for about 5 years. How can we help in the situation with the second child while preserving health to have enough strength to raise virtuous children who serve the Lord? Dr. Torsunov?
Your constitution is Pitta Prakriti. You need sunlight for your health. Mild spices such as nutmeg, cloves, black pepper, coriander, and white pepper are suitable for you. You should avoid red pepper, tomato paste, olive oil, and fried foods. Unfortunately, in addition to needing sunlight, you also have excess heat in your body, especially in the upper body, which causes issues with your face. You have damage to the second petal, which is associated with blood vessels. These facial issues are due to small blood vessels becoming inflamed, leading to your condition. The cause of this inflammation is overheating. Additionally, there is an accumulation of excessive sebaceous fatty tissue in the body, which is also tied to another issue I will explain shortly. You need to be treated with coconut oil, as coconut oil is suitable for you. The treatment involves 3 days of oiling in the morning, as I've explained in previous consultations, followed by 3 days of rest. You should apply the oil to your entire body. The oil will help to burn off the external sebaceous fatty formations. To prevent your body from overheating, you need at least 50% raw food in your diet, especially greens. Greens are particularly beneficial for the skin. You should also consume sprouted grains. Unfortunately, your vascular dhatu is affected in 2 petals simultaneously, both of which involve the head. The second petal, the internal one, is associated with chronic tonsillitis. Be aware that this external petal could lead to sleep disturbances. The internal one could eventually cause vascular issues in the legs. Both of these can lead to blood pressure problems. So the most affected system in your body is the blood vessels. Your blood vessels are suffering the most. Therefore, dynamic movement is the best for your health. Furthermore, since your metadhatu, fatty tissue and internal organs such as the thyroid and other endocrine glands, is also affected, fasting is very important for your treatment. For your constitution, fasting on Wednesdays will help heal your skin. Considering your constitution, fasting on Wednesdays will also provide hormonal healing. There are 2 options for fasting. Either fast on green juices, simply blending any greens with water, or simply water fasting. Both options will give you good results. You must fast every week. 1 day a week. Either a detox day on greens or a complete fasting. In the second half of the day, apart from fruits like apples, persimmons, pears, and bananas, you shouldn't eat anything else in the evening. Because any food in the evening, especially fatty or fried food, will cause breakouts on your face. This adenomyosis is also damage to your metadhatu, and it's all just overheating of the body. Your problem lies exactly in this. In terms of hormonal function, you lack female hormones, which means you lack the energies of water and earth. You need more earth energy and more water energy. This means swimming as often as possible in summer. And since your constitution is solar, the combination of sun and water will give the best health results. Regarding the unfavorable astrological period, I completely agree with it. During this time, the destructive air energy in your body will increase. So during this period, static exercises are also suitable for you. Just sit on the floor and lean forward. This is the best exercise for you. Do it for 20 minutes a day, followed by some slight back bends for 3-4 minutes. Additionally, your asti dhatu, the fifth layer associated with bone tissue but not joints, is affected, specifically your spine. The upper sections of your spine suffer the most, which may also result in migraines and headaches, as you mentioned. This is something you already experience. It is treated exclusively with static exercises. The inverted shoulder stand is the best for you in this regard. See, you have two inverted poses, one leaning forward to treat female hormonal functions, and another one is shoulder stand. I also want to say that you've had some prolonged depression, and your nervous system is severely impacted because of it. I believe that, as in the previous case I mentioned, and given your age, you urgently need treatment at our wellness center, not just with health advice, but also through strong and serious impacts on your body. For you, of course, it's better to take the full package. This is what works for you. Let me check now. Treatment with bark, then the color scheme, and the belt. The belt is the minimal treatment. That's all. I've told you everything.
Any questions?
I was advised that, for instance, if the negative period starts in May next year, it would be better to conceive the child before that period for a more favorable pregnancy.
Yes, I agree. Don't be afraid of those periods. There's no need to fear that period at all. You just need to follow a good treatment plan, wear the stones and the belt, and this will completely neutralize the negative period. This negative period is associated with air energy in the body. It will just make your body more tense. If you do yoga and wear the stones, you will get through it easily. I also recently went through such a difficult period that lasted 2.5 years, and I got through it calmly. I even traveled a lot during that time.
Does it make sense to start treatment in advance?
We don't have the concept of advanced treatment. You can wear the stones and belt for 5 years or more. They will last you at least 5 years. You just select them and wear them, and that's it. And this is not called completing treatment. You simply wear them and constantly support your body. This is the unique feature of our treatment. The belt can be worn for up to 8 years. The stones don't wear out because they are large, and black and white schemes are worn by people for 5 years.
Excuse me, so if I select them now, they will also work for me during pregnancy, right?
Yes, and they will help you conceive.
I understand. Dr. Torsunov, may God bless you for your service. Thank you.
All the best to you. We are calling the next patient.
You can consult them yourself if you want, because I have already diagnosed them according to the same scheme. All people have already been tested.
Good evening, Leo. Yes, it's me. I will now read your complaints and pass the word to Dr. Torsunov. The first problem is unwillingness to live, not being aware that I'm actually living. Depression, feeling of guilt, anxiety, unrealized sexuality. There's sluggishness in the head. I know there's poor blood outflow from the head. Something with blood vessels.
You have a kapha prakriti constitution connected with water, but your body is very overheated. And this is a very big problem in your life. Apparently you wake up very late. You don't follow the sun's routine. That means there's been no daily routine for many years, and as a result you're depressed. There's no healthy lifestyle. Willpower functions suffer from violation of healthy lifestyle rules. I recommend listening to the lecture about daily routine and start using this knowledge. You need water energy to be healthy, more contact with water. In humid weather, it's beneficial for you to go for a run or practice cold water swimming. It's good for you to even pour a bucket of cold water over yourself while being outdoors. You need to invigorate your body. It's a bit sluggish. The affected areas are blood vessels, which are on the second layer, are affected at the neck and head level. As you correctly said, you have cerebral circulation disorder in the form of venous blood outflow disruption. Therefore, this cannot be monitored through blood pressure, but you have a feeling that you have some kind of stagnation in your head, as if there's too much in your head. And this is treated very simply with static exercises called the shoulder stand pose. If you do only static exercises without dynamic ones, this won't be good for your body, because you have chronic hypodynamia in all respects. Therefore, you need to do both static and dynamic exercises, because otherwise there's no way to recover. You also have chronic disorders in the nasal canals, throat, and bronchi. And all this is also treated through an active lifestyle, through movement, like running. Another problem is on the next layer. This is mamsadatu, connected with muscles, and this mamsadatu is affected in your lower body. Therefore, there are certain disorders in the urethra. Unnecessary energy accumulates there in the form of tension, and therefore sexual desire appears. It is precisely connected with the muscles of the urethra, and there is also a disorder of the muscle tissues of the spine and intestines. This means lack of movement. You need static exercises such as the butterfly pose or forward bends to treat problems with the urethra and energy stagnation. Also, unfortunately, there is a double affliction at the level of the nervous system. The outer layer, connected with mental sensitivity, is affected, as well as the inner one, connected with its sluggishness, lack of adequate perception of the world. And this again is treated with movement. You need breathing exercises plus fresh air. You see, your whole life is connected with movement, but you seem to be a bit lazy, spending more time at the computer watching TV, and this makes you overheat. And your work is also connected with mental activity. In general, everything in your life has merged into hypodynamia, and this is your main life problem.
Do you have any more questions? Yes, I tried to fortify my body. Even under a hot shower, I feel cold. The hotter the water, the more I feel cold.
Yes, that's true. You shouldn't start with water. You just need to run outdoors, put on warm clothes, and run. Your health won't start with water. It starts with movement. Because water is the next stage. Your body's too weak right now for cold water practices.
Another question. For the last 2 months, I started waking up early. At 5, 5:30, 6. Indeed, I used to wake up late before.
All of this has accumulated so much in your body that there's no visible effect yet. Continue, gradually remove the internal body's fatigue from oversleeping or incorrect sleep.
Thank you very much. All the best to you.
Goodbye.
Dr. Torsunov, I wanted to clarify about the planned consultations. In this format, approximately as you have done now, make a small announcement of what to expect.
I don't know what to expect.
Your developments, consultations that you are currently conducting.
You mean our special feature? The thing is, I'm now working on a global project called Your Individual Health, and this project will touch upon all spheres of human life. That means that we have learned with the help of the program. We have analyzed the constitutions of all food products, all herbs, supplements, oils, and trees, and since there is also human constitution, when all this interacts together, recommendations are generated. It obviously can't be described in words even in a week. But if we use equipment, these recommendations can be made in a matter of minutes. So what kind of recommendations? Individual nutrition for a person, individual nutrition during the aggravation of a specific disease. We will also provide individually selected recipes according to the diet. Your specific exercises that are good for you, which trees are suitable for you, which various preparations and oils are suitable for you. We will now enter all this into the database, and it's quite simple to test a person, the testing that I just did. And that's it. Then the program will generate results because each plant, each product will be very precisely matched with the person. And naturally, these will be very serious achievements. We are moving towards this now, and I think that within 6 months we will be able to start this project called Your Individual Health. We have already come close to this goal.
Thank you, Dr. Torsunov. I also wanted to say that we received a lot of applications for this consultation, and of course it's impossible to conduct all of them within one online meeting.
So, for those who didn't get a consultation today, we will send you invitations for consultations that will be conducted by specialists from our center. But the 5 people who were announced will receive a special consultation because I have tested them and everything will be very clear for them. Dr. Azarov himself personally, I think, or his assistants will already do their work based on the information we have about them.
All right. Then we will be ending our consultation for today. We wish you all good health, all the best. Goodbye.
I wish you happiness. To learn more on the subject of health and healing of the body, please make sure to read my health guide, available for download on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram page. Thank you very much, and see you soon.